It's all right. It's too late. It's already starting. What do you want me to do? We're already live. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Tuesday, November 22nd. Is it 22nd? November 22nd, 2022. It's 11/22/22. That's an auspicious day, right? That's got to be good luck. My wife is not loving where I'm choosing to do the live stream from today in the living room. There's a lot of other stuff going on, but you know what? We're just going to get it done today. This is where we're going to do it. And hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I got you on the Bluetooth earbuds. So hopefully that works. Before we get started, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. Hopefully you guys are having a good run today. It has warmed up significantly in the Midwest, so it's actually really, I still have to wear mittens and a hat and all that stuff, but it's actually like pleasant to run right now, so that has actually been nice, and hopefully it's nice for you guys too. And everyone that's watching this on YouTube later, after the fact, hopefully you've already got your Thanksgiving travel done, and now you're like relaxing, trying to get to bed. Maybe you got this on like so you could fall asleep while listening to it. If that's the case, then, you know, hope you have a nice night's sleep. All right, let's see who we got here in the chat here before we get to our Tuesday trivia, which is going to be turkey trot themed. All right, we got Midlife Runner that says, Coach, just wanted to say I'm grateful for you, the channel, and the Kofuzi Run Club. Turkey, turkey, turkey emojis. Well, it's good to see you here too. Thank you so much. Runner Will says, hello, everyone. Hope you all have amazing Thanksgiving. Mariah has already started with the Christmas music. LOL. We've been listening to Christmas music basically since Halloween is over. In our house, basically it goes like Labor Day, which one is Labor Day is in September, Labor Day, Halloween, Christmas, and then Thanksgiving is just like a speed bump along the way, kind of like an aperitif, if you will. So we've been listening to, I've already heard that song like 7 or 8 times. We had a road trip yesterday. We had to drive back here to Iowa. I listened to that song maybe 4 times just driving yesterday. So we're in full Christmas mode. Our Christmas tree's already up. We did the Chris Kindle market. We already went to our Christmas market for the season. So like we're fully ready. We're into it. Frank says, anybody finding any great Black Friday deals? I did get the Primex strung for $150, which is an amazing price. I was just looking at my Primex yesterday and thinking I bought those a long time ago, and I was debating whether or not to get an update to that. But for $150 is crazy. I normally don't buy a lot of stuff for Black Friday, but I decided that I would do, I got an email from Kraft. Not I got an email, but Kraft sent out a big email saying that there was 30% off of a lot of stuff. And so I bought a very expensive jacket and a pair of tights. So I spent a bunch of money at Kraft, but it was 30% off. So there's that. All right. Sean says, train coming, go busy. Watch out. I think that's my father-in-law's phone ringtone. So that's that. All right. Eliza says, I love seeing the Christmas stuff when I am out. Yeah, I enjoy seeing it. It makes me festive, you know. New Betcher says, I was so sad to miss out on the Strong. I did get the Adios Pro 3 for $125. That makes no sense. Such a good shoe for $125. These prices are insane. It doesn't make any sense at all. That's crazy. All right, we got some turkey trot info coming in. Oh, we got Richard Smart. Greetings from Harker Heights, Texas. Good to see you again, Richard. Stevie76, is it Disney World? Nice, love it. Is there a legal conference in there? You're getting some CLE. And let's see. We got actually a running question. Brett wants to know, what are the main difference between the SC Trainer and the Primex? I think that they're very different shoes. I think that they're for exact kind of opposite types of runners as well. So I think that the Primex is really best suited. Not that it's only suited, but best suited for forefoot strikers. I think the SC Trainer is best suited for midfoot and heel strikers. They're both tall, but that doesn't mean they're the same, right? And so I think that the Primex is definitely more of like, kind of like in the kind of spirit of Alphafly, a racing shoe, something you could use for like really fast workouts. The SC Trainer I've used for workouts, but I don't love the way that the plate is placed. I think that for people that, for example, like the Metaspeed Edge Plus or that maybe love like the Vaporfly, has a low plate placement as well, might like the way that the SC Trainer feels as like that workout shoe, that max cushion slash workout, kind of combining those two categories together. But for me, I kind of end up preferring the SC Trainer at more like slower than marathon pace running. So like from easy to easy plus is where I kind of like it, because that's where I'm more midfoot and heel striking. So that's really where I feel a lot of the differences are. In addition, I think that the Prime X is really about feeling like Light Strike Pro and like just bouncy carbon, because there's like 2 layers of carbon elements in it. The SC Trainer is really about feeling what the fuel cell foam can do if you put just a bunch of it under your heel. So those are some of the differences. I think that they're very different, very, very different shoes. I mean, it's to the point where, and I keep getting these questions all the time between like, people are asking me like Bondi X, Super Blast, SC Trainer, and Prime X. And I'm like, those are like 4, you could have like a shoe rotation with those 4 shoes, using each shoe for a very distinct thing. And I think for Relay, one of the articles that I'm going to write, and hopefully I'll be able to have it done by Friday, is talking about this whole super stack category. More than 40 millimeters of stack height, and the Bondi X is not, but more than 40 millimeters of stack height may or may not have carbon, or it may or may have either carbon and or racing foam, but it's not about max cushion, you know, and so it's kind of a confusing subcategory. A lot of people are like, well, what's the difference between like a Super Blast and a more version 4? And I'm like, they're opposites. They're opposites. They both happen to be tall, but they're opposites. So that's kind of something that I'll be getting into a little bit, talking about like what is super stack, and the brands aren't consistent on what it is. It's a category that I'm creating or naming myself, but I'll talk about it a little bit more. Hopefully it'll help people to kind of like understand that kind of thing. All right. Let's get to some, Jose Navarro says, yo, what's going on? Packing for Thanksgiving, Florida family trip. May do a turkey trot. I got no more space in my closet for these Black Friday deals though. Yeah, I mean, the Black Friday deals, people have been going after them. Like the brands have been putting them out for like the last month. So maybe that's why you got no more space, Jose. But yeah, I'm just not that excited about Black Friday deals anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm like over it. Maybe I just got no more space, you know, but maybe that's what it is. What was I going to say about that? All right. I forget. So let's get to the first turkey trot related question. All right, this one, some of the numbers are going to be pulled from wherever I pulled the numbers from, so it may not be like 2021 data, and so that's just going to be it. So we're going to go with what I go with. According to Running USA, in 2016, how many people completed a turkey trot? So like nationwide, how many people completed turkey trot in 2016? Oh, now I remember what I was going to say before. So my local turkey trot here in Dubuque County, Iowa, there used to be like in Dubuque, there used to be a run club that put one on. They stopped doing that many years ago. And the one that I've been going to, it gets put on by like the high school students. It's like a senior class, not class project, but like the student council or something like that puts it on. And it's run at the Western Dubuque High School. And it's supposed to be a turkey trot 5K, but every time I've measured it, it's only about like 2.2 miles. And every year, like the cross country high school kids are like they're super broy about it, even though it's a turkey trot. And they always like talk about how hard they're going to run it. And they'll come out, some of them are in costume and stuff. So they're, you know, having a little bit of fun with it, but they're just trying to like dunk on their parents and stuff. So I'm just like, this is weird. And so every year I'm like, one year I'm going to give these kids a run for their money. I don't think I'll be able to beat them, but I do think that I could be like, you know, who's this weird Asian dude that's chasing me? Like I really want to give them a scare one year. But I don't think this is going to be the year because I'm tapering for CIM. But one year, I'm going to show up in like racing flats and just really go after it. All right. So we got here for some numbers. How many people completed a turkey trot in 2016 nationwide? Luke Klein said 8 million. That's a lot of people. Eric said 3 million. Eliza said 10 million. Adam said 675,000. It's a very specific number. Lee said 1492 million. Jason Dahl said 100K. Oh, by the way, New Betcher said, on a whim, I just checked the Adidas app, and $150 Prime X Strung is back, and he got it ordered. Nice. JC says 200. The numbers are all over the place. JC says 220,000. Frank says 91,492. Interesting. Mark Peterson says 150,000. Sober Gummy says 1,278,429 turkey trotters. And Duke BB says 17.35 million. The number that I have. Oh, my daughter's here. She says hi. Here you go. The number that I have, according to Running USA in 2016, 961,882 people completed a turkey trot in 2016. So, who was it that was the closest? I think it was Jason Dahl was close with 100K, and then Frank, I think, was the closest without going over, if we're going to play that. No. Frank only said 91,000. You were off by a factor of 10. So it's Jason Dahl. Wait. No, 961. Jason Dahl, we were off. Who said 1 million? That's the closest one. Sober Gummy, was it you? 1.278? That might be the closest one. But without going over, it might be Adam, 675,000. That's a lot of people. Sober Gummy wants to know how many DNFs. I don't know. That's pretty funny. But you know what? I do think that there are a lot. I tried to see if there are any turkey trot marathons. Doing a quick search, I didn't find any. But there do seem to be a lot of turkey trot half marathons. Seems like a long distance to do, like on Thanksgiving morning, or like a couple of days before Thanksgiving. But I would say, like, if it's like the weekend before Thanksgiving, like if it's a fundraiser for like a food pantry or something, I could do a half marathon. I think I would do that. Lou Klein says that around where he is. Where'd it go? Lou says the turkey trots around here are total throwdowns. I could see like some places, like I bet you if you were like, well, do people in Boulder that live in Boulder, are they native? Do they stay in Boulder for Thanksgiving? Like, I feel like that would be a pretty intense turkey trot. And I think in New England, some places get really intense. But around here, it's like, one year, like the wrestling coach was like the one that was like starting us all off. Other years it's been the track coach. And it's pretty not that ceremonious. There is one police officer that like blocks one of the roads for us. But other than that, it's really informal. So most people are just kind of walk jogging. You see a lot of strollers and it's pretty fun. This year, I don't know if we're doing it. I got to talk to my nieces and nephews if we're going to do it this year. Usually the entry fee is a couple of cans for the food pantry. So, yeah. All right. Let's get to question number 2. Speaking of turkey trots, it seems like it's a big tradition, but when was the first turkey trot? Like, how far does this go back? Is this like a new thing, or is this an old thing? How long ago do you think was the first ever turkey trot? Adam says he did a Thanksgiving trail 15K 18 years ago. That's a long way. What's that? I mean, depending on the trail, I would anticipate that's like that's an hour and a half, 2 hours on the trails, maybe. Depends on the trail. Jason said the one here in Lincoln Park is pretty relaxed, minus a few people in the front. I could see some Chicago. You know where I think would be really intense? I bet you like a DC one. I bet you would be super intense. I could see like a New York one and a Boston one getting like those would be like super intense. Frank says it looks like there's a marathon in Dallas on really? A Thanksgiving marathon? That's wild. I would like to do that. Not really. I don't know. I'm like there's a 5K, there's a turkey trot in Des Moines, which is a couple hours drive from here, and I'm like I'd like to do that one, but I'm like I don't feel like driving. All right, let's see. JC says the first turkey trot was obviously in 1492. Lou thinks it was 1982 as the first one. JC, you guys think this is all recent? 1990. Eric says 1987. Eliza's going back 1970. Sober Gummy has a good question. Which Thanksgiving race sounds more intriguing? Run your giblets off or gobble wobble? I'd rather do a gobble wobble. Lee Wilson says 1957 was the first. New Betcher's going real far back, 1621. Mark, most of you guys are in the 70s. 1973 by Mark. JC says 1972. The first turkey trot was held in Buffalo, New York by the Buffalo YMCA. It was an 8K cross country course held in 1896. 1896. So the turkey trot is an old tradition that goes really far back. And it's still a continuously running turkey trot, although I don't know what they did for the pandemic. And there was one year, I'm surprised, the article that I read said there was one year where there was a really bad blizzard that almost canceled the event. But I'm like, Buffalo, there was only 1 year where it almost canceled it. But yeah, it's still a continuously running event. It's amazing. Let's see. GRC, what's that? Garsley? GRCLY44 says, are you going to do the McHenry County Santa Run for the kids? I'm not aware of that event. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to go look that one up. All right. Ed James just got here. What's going on here? Is this Kafuzi after hours? Maybe tea time with Kafuzi. I like the vibe. And I'm just at my in-laws' house, so I don't have the usual setup. So we're just hanging out and doing a little turkey trot trivia today. Lou says on New York, the streets on Thanksgiving are closed to the Macy's parade. Yeah, 1 year we do want to try to take the kids out to go see the Thanksgiving Day parade. We keep talking about it, but now like everyone's kids are too old for that, so we may have missed our window to try that one. Adam says there are at least 20 turkey trots in the Denver Boulder area on Thursday. There were 5 to 10 last Saturday. Oh man, that's amazing. All right. JC says Dallas has a large turkey trot on Thursday. 8 Mile is the main event, but is there a marathon too? Wow. All right. Let's get to question number 3. What city has the biggest turkey trot? So I mentioned Buffalo has the longest running one because they had the first one and they continuously have been doing it. What city has the largest one? And the data that I'm going by is 2016 data. I think it was an article on active.com. So what city has the biggest turkey trot? JC says New Vienna. No, New Vienna doesn't even have one. Closest one, I have to drive 15 miles, about 10 miles to get to, is it in Piasta? No, Epworth is where Western Dubuque is. Boston, Lou Klein thinks Boston would be a big turkey trot. That'd be a good guess. I would also feel like somewhere, I can imagine like somewhere where some of the earliest colonies were, like in Virginia somewhere, maybe. I could see that. Matthias Ventus says Pawnee. Wouldn't that be great? Bishan Mom says LA. I could see that because the weather's going to be really good. Jody says San Francisco. Also, I would enjoy a San Francisco turkey trot. Carlos says I might jump into a turkey trot in Arlington, Texas, heading there for a Cowboys-Giants game on Thanksgiving. Nice. JC says Austin has a big one. Sean says there's a big one in Andover. Nice. The correct answer is Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas has the biggest one. In 2016, they had 25,000 runners running an 8-mile turkey trot. Can you imagine that? 25,000 people for an 8-miler on Thanksgiving Day? That's the one that, JC, I think that's the one you're talking about, too. And that's the one that I'm not sure, but someone has mentioned that there might also be a marathon involved. That's a lot of people. Adam thinks that Denver Boulder has the biggest if you combine all 20 plus. I feel like that's probably like the most Denver Boulder problem. Well, maybe not the most, but a very Denver Boulder problem is that like traffic is miserable because there are so many turkey trots simultaneously happening that no one can get anywhere. Oh man, that was funny. Sean says the one in Andover is like 10,000. I could see that. How many people do you think are there in their Tracksmith singlets, though? I bet you're like 9,000. PG1980 says, "Is that the new shirt?" This is the new like jacket from the one from Rabbit. Here's the patch down here. The Rabbit Trail. My wife keeps calling it a shacket because it's a shirt jacket, but it's very warm, very comfortable. This is the jacket that I decided I would wear for this week. I'm definitely enjoying it. And I was feeling a little bit chilly after my run this morning, so I thought I'd go for it. All right. Question number 4. It doesn't exist anymore, although I would really want to go see this in person maybe, although I don't know, maybe I wouldn't. What town in the United States, or I guess anywhere, but what town used to have an actual turkey trot where they ran turkeys down the main street of the town? Like a running of the bulls, but with turkeys. It was a real, like a literal turkey trot. Name the town that used to do that. They did it, according to the article I read, it was like for 60 years they did it, from like 1912 to like 1960, like 62, so 70, no, 1902. So they said they did it for about 60 years, and then turkey processing, I don't know, went away in that town. So in the 70s, it kind of disappeared. So it was about 60 years they would actually have turkeys running down the street. Elijah says, I feel like this is my town because they've chased me before. But maybe it's in Plymouth. Oh, that's funny. JC says, got to be Cincinnati, WKRP. Brett Reed says Plymouth, Maryland. Bishamam says Toledo. Eric says Salem. Oh, man. I could see Salem doing it. Interesting. I love these guesses. Frank Hillier says Boise. Luis says Cancun. Are there turkeys in Mexico? I don't know. Tony Macias says Gobbleton, Minnesota. I don't know if that's a real town or not. And GRCLY says, I'd say Little Rock, Arkansas. Kind of says, sounds like Manhattan every weekend. Matthias says, staying on the Parks and Rec theme, says, this does sound like something Nestle Nope would have done. Wouldn't it be great? And they had, what was the name of the pony? They had Sebastian, kind of like the marshal of this, kind of herding them all from behind, maybe. The correct answer is, where it goes, Cuero, Texas. Cuero, Texas. I have no idea where that is. I'm guessing it used to be like a turkey processing town. Used to have an actual turkey trot. The biggest year, I want to say, I don't have it written down, unfortunately, but from the article that I read, I want to say that it was like their biggest year was 18,000 turkeys that they had like running down this main street, presumably to a slaughterhouse. I mean, where else would they have them run? But that was their actual turkey trot. I gotta find photos of this. Can you imagine? Conference Pittsburgh? Where would you do that in Pittsburgh? Oh man. Jason Dahl said that'd be a real farm to table moment. Oh man. Frank says, if it's Cuero, Texas, Luis Becerra was the closest. I'd say you're probably right. I think Luis was the closest. Oh man. It says, imagine racing someone that you're going to eat after the race. Oh man. Tracy Smith says, I think I might be able to beat the turkeys at least. I don't know. Stick around for the bonus question today. All right. Let's do question number 5. All right. Speaking of beating a turkey. When Molly Seidel ran in a full turkey costume, I thought it was a half marathon for some reason, but on further research, it was a 10K. She ran in like a full turkey costume. How fast did she run the 10K in a full turkey costume? Now, I don't think she was racing this by any means. I think she ran it with her sister. I think they were still doing it for fun. But I don't know if she was listed as an elite for the race, but she definitely wore a turkey costume. What was her finishing time? Molly Seidel's finishing time when she went for the fastest known turkey FKT. And you guys are all really close. Adam says 33:17. Ed Chan says 35, which is a remarkably fast time. Maybe not for a pro, but for like normal people, like a 33:17 or a 35 on any good day is a good day. On any day, like non-costume day, is a good day. Frank says 36:19. Mark says 34:01. He's coming in at 32. Eliza also says 32. Jason Dahl says 45. Shannon says 38. Leon says 10K at 17:48. It's a little fast. Jody Vac says 34:34. Brett Reed says 31:31. Kyle Runs had the exact right number Oh no, you were actually the closest without going over. Very close to the exact number. It was 34:33. So Kyle was 2 seconds off, but Kyle had the correct answer. She ran a 10K in 34:33. Can you imagine that? That is 5.5 minutes faster, almost 5.5 minutes faster than I've ever run a 10K just without a costume. Not that I have great 10K speed, but it's just incredible. Incredible. She would have been done when I still had like a mile to go. Or a little bit less than a mile to go. But yeah. Whew. So fast. Let's see. Louis says, how big was the costume? It wasn't a huge costume. It was kind of like, it looked like a onesie, you know, like the kids' pajamas, but adult size. So it was kind of like that. Shannon says she ran that with her sister. I thought she did. I thought there were photos of them both like kind of in costumes. Yeah. And Kyle says, I remember her talking with Megan and Thomas from Believe in the Run about it. Apparently the costume hit her in the mouth a lot. Oh my goodness. That's wild. That's crazy. And it says Molly's sister is a decent runner, isn't she? She is. I believe she ran in college, but do you guys remember, it was, I think, 2 summers ago when Malcolm Gladwell ran a celebrity mile against Chris Chavez. And there was a bunch of other people in that mile. It was like a trials of mile track meet. It was during the pandemic, I think. And so there was that event. Like Ali Feller was like the finish line announcer. Sidious Mag was covering the event, but Chris Chavez also ran the mile. Malcolm Gladwell wore dragonflies and over the calf socks. That mile, Molly Seidel actually won that mile that day. I think she ran she went under 5 minutes for sure, by a lot. I want to say it was like I don't remember the exact time, but she's the one that actually won the mile. No one ever remembers that. But yeah, she's a fast runner. She's fast. Frank says, how fast do you think a turkey could actually cover a mile? That's a good question. Turkeys can fly, although I believe, my understanding, I don't know much about birds. This is just all from stuff I read on the internet and a couple of conversations I've overheard my brothers-in-law have about hunting turkeys. Wild turkeys can fly. Domesticated turkeys are bred to have larger breasts for food reasons, and so their body weight is all off, so they can't fly for very long. Turkeys can swim, apparently, and they can also run. Here's the bonus question for today. Who would be faster, assuming a turkey could hold like its max pace for 10K? Who would be faster? Molly Seidel in a turkey costume or an actual turkey? Now, it's not fair because I'm talking about turkey sprinting pace and extrapolating that out for 10K, but assuming it could, what would be faster, Molly Seidel or an actually turkey? And the number that I'm using for the turkey speed comes from National Geographic. There's a wide range of reported turkey running speeds on the internet. I didn't know it was quite under such debate, but apparently it is. Jason wants to know, is the turkey allowed to wear carbon-plated shoes? If it wants. That's the answer, if it wants. You know, we're not we're not looking for world records here, so, World Athletics rules don't apply. All right. Brett Reed says, full send. Let's see. Adam thinks it would be the turkey would be faster. Frank thinks the turkey. Eliza also thinks turkey. Innes thinks it's Molly. Jody Beck thinks the actual turkey would be faster. Eric says Seidel for the 10K. In a real 10K, I think she'd be able to win. Mainly because I don't know that the turkey has the attention span to run an actual 10K. But, in the hypothetical where the turkey can run at its top speed, not an unnaturally top speed, but at a top speed for a full 10K without getting distracted. Let's see. A lot of people betting on the turkey. Lee Wilson, Jose Naveo, Angel Johnson. Yeah, that's so funny. The numbers that I have is that a turkey can run, according to National Geographic, 12 miles per hour. Extrapolated out, that turns into a 31-minute 10K. So if a turkey could hold its max running speed, which I don't know how long a turkey can hold its max running speed, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's just like a burst, like a 10-yard dash, or if it could hold that for 100 yards or what. But National Geographic says that a turkey can run 12 miles per hour. That would mean that it would finish a turkey trot, a 10K turkey trot, 3 minutes ahead of Molly Seidel. That's yeah. Matt says turkeys can win an all-out sprint, but getting one to focus would be tricky. Yeah, I think that it would depend on the distance. Do you guys? Oh my goodness! Do you guys remember there used to be a show on Discovery Channel, and it was like Man versus Beast, and it would have this actual hypothetical scenario where it'd be like, who could run faster, a bear or a sprinter? And they would say a sprinter can run 100 meters in 9.8 seconds or whatever number that they decided to pick. And they're like, a bear could run 40 meters in this many seconds. Oh my goodness. But yeah. Getting the focus, I think, would be the hard part. And how do you get it to not fly? It would probably just want to fly at that point, right? Oh man. Luke Line says, doesn't believe it. No way. Molly all the way. Oh, man. Dad Ronald says, something would have to be chasing the turkey. Well, if Molly's chasing the turkey, right, because she's trying to win, maybe the turkey's afraid of Molly Seidel. Frank says, if the turkey wins, the turkey gets a pardon. Lou says, this was talked about in the book Born to Run. It was? Turkeys running? Like racing a turkey? Or humans racing animals? I could see humans racing animals being in the book. I don't remember any discussion about turkeys in the book. Eliza says, yeah, I remember that show on the Discovery Channel. Didn't the hot dog guy lose to the bear for eating? Yeah, he lost by so much. Because the guy that eats all the hot dogs so fast, it was the Japanese guy that won 3 or 4 years in a row, the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest. They had a clip of him eating hot dogs and how many he could eat in a certain amount of time, and the bear ate that many in one handful, so it wasn't even close. Oh man, that's so funny. Eric says that the turkey wouldn't be able to focus because turkeys just want to have fun. Nice. Jason, you guys all watched that episode. The bear dominated the hot dog. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. And it says, I like the video the other day where Molly was crying because no one asked her about her new running shoes. That was a good one. That was pretty funny. She actually had put tears on her face and everything for that reel. It was really funny. Oh man. Frank says about that Discovery. I think it was Discovery Channel, but we all know what show we're talking about, I think. Frank says, I vaguely remember a tug of war with an orangutan that wasn't close. Orangutans are so incredibly strong. They're like, what if an ant? Ants are also incredibly strong for their size, relative, what they could pick up relative to their size. But what if an ant were the size of a human? That's an orangutan, I think. It's crazy. Weird animal facts. One of my favorite TikToks is a dude that just knows. I don't know if he knows them all or knew them all, or now he does because he's just done so much research or what. But he's this guy that just talks about animal facts. Crazy ones, weird ones, obscure ones, shocking ones. And that's one of my favorite ones. It's a good one. All right. Let's end on this. I'm gonna get back. Everyone has see, I thought I would just kind of quietly be in the corner doing the live stream, but instead I've cleared everyone out of the living room, so I feel bad about that. Someone had a question. Oh, Nebetra said, anyone else planning to do Winter Grit? I really dig the quarters for this year's. Yeah, I was thinking about. I was listening to it on my run the other day. I normally don't do grit because it makes me run too much. I feel like I get very obsessed with it, and then I tend to overtrain, and I always end up kind of hurt and banged up by the end of it. But I feel like this year I'm training for Tokyo. Maybe I'll sign up anyway. I do want the quarter zip. That would be nice. So maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it. But I think they always do a Black Friday push, don't they? So I think Friday is the day that the registrations will be the cheapest. After that, the price goes up. So there's that. Yeah. All right. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks everybody for playing and humoring me with my turkey trot trivia. Hope you had a good time. This is going to be the last live stream until we'll do one Friday if anyone's gonna be around. We'll do one Friday. Friday I usually stay home. Usually, like my wife and her sisters will go out and do Black Friday shopping. I stay back with the kids. My brothers-in-law usually hang out here too. So I feel like I'll probably still be able to do a live stream if any of you guys want to. If you guys want to spend time with family, totally cool. You could always catch it later, not live. But I'm gonna take tomorrow and Thursday off, Wednesday and Thursday off. But I'll see you guys Friday. Tomorrow's video is gonna be a really good one. I'm having a fun time editing it. Hopefully you guys like it. Tomorrow's video is gonna be about the Metaspeed Sky Plus after 100 miles. So we'll talk about that. And hopefully you guys have a really good Thanksgiving. Good luck in your turkey trots. If there are some hotshot high school cross-country kids out there, give them hell for me. Give them a little bit of a scare. And I'd love to hear about it when we get back on the live stream on Friday, 1 p.m. Central Time, right here on YouTube. All right. Be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.